Hey guys, welcome back and thanks for tuning in. This is your number one destination for World Cup 2026 match breakdowns and highlights. So hit that subscribe button right now and let's get into it, because we have a truly historic story to tell from Philadelphia. Ivory Coast clinched second place in Group E while eliminating Curaçao from the 2026 FIFA World Cup with a 2-0 victory at Philadelphia Stadium on Thursday, with Nicolas Pepe finding the back of the net twice to seal a famous win. And this result means something absolutely extraordinary for African football. It is Ivory Coast's first ever trip to the knockout rounds in men's FIFA World Cup history. Let that sink in for a moment. A nation with some of the most talented footballers on the planet, finally making the knockout stage for the very first time, and they did it in style. Before we get into the goals and the action, we have to acknowledge the other side of this story, because Curaçao made history just by being here, becoming the smallest nation to ever feature at a FIFA World Cup, and everything they have achieved on this stage deserves enormous respect and recognition. Coming into this final group game with just 1 point from 2 matches, Curaçao knew that qualification for the round of 32 was now extremely unlikely, but they were aiming to end their historic World Cup journey on a positive note and prove they could compete against more established footballing nations on the biggest stage. And they gave absolutely everything they had right until the final whistle. Ivory Coast, on the other hand, came into this match knowing exactly what was at stake. They had opened their Group E campaign with a hard-fought 1-0 victory over Ecuador, with substitute Amad Diallo scoring a dramatic late winner, before battling bravely against Germany only to fall to a 2-1 defeat with a late winner from Denise Undab. So with 3 points from 2 games, a win today would secure their place in the last 32. The first half at Philadelphia Stadium was a tense and competitive affair, with Ivory Coast creating the better opportunities early on. Cristiano delivered a great through ball to Ivory, who entered the penalty area and unleashed a powerful right-footed shot. But Curaçao goalkeeper Ivory made a brilliant save to prevent the Ivorian goal and keep his side in the match. Curaçao had their moments too. Tahith Chong controlled the ball and unleashed a powerful shot from outside the box which went over the goal, and the Dutch-based midfielder was one of Curaçao's most dangerous players throughout the entire match. Ivory Coast gradually lost the momentum they had at the start of the first half, exchanging many passes in their own half and only entering the penalty area with individual plays, and the teams went into the break level at 0-0 with everything still to play for. But the second half told a completely different story, as Nicolas Pepe, one of the most experienced players in this Ivory Coast squad, took this match completely by the scruff of the neck and delivered an absolute masterclass of a performance. Pepe found the back of the net twice, with breakout star Yen Diomande assisting the first goal, and what a player Yen Diomande has been throughout this entire tournament. The young Ivory Coast midfielder has been one of the real revelations of the 2026 World Cup, and his assist for Pepe's first goal was a thing of beauty. Curaçao tried everything to get back into the match. Coach Dick Advocat brought on Branley Coas and Shirandi Sambo in an effort to add more energy and improve passing, and the substitutes did inject some urgency into Curaçao's play. Almost a third goal for Ivory Coast, as Bazumina Touré broke down the left and delivered a low cross into the box, with defender Armando Obispo nearly turning it into his own net, but it grazed the post and went out for a corner. That was an incredibly lucky escape for Curaçao and showed just how dominant Ivory Coast were in the closing stages. The final whistle confirmed it. Ivory Coast finished the group stage with 6 points and held its second clean sheet of the tournament, a remarkable achievement for a side that many had written off before the tournament began. In their first ever trip to the knockout rounds, Ivory Coast will play the losing side of the match between France and Norway. What an absolutely incredible reward for a nation that has waited so long for this moment. And for Curaçao, the smallest nation to ever compete at the tournament, finished their first ever FIFA Men's World Cup campaign with 1 goal and 1 point. But they leave Philadelphia with their heads held incredibly high, because they showed the entire world that small nations belong on the biggest stage. This is what makes the World Cup the greatest sporting event on earth. History being made, dreams being fulfilled, and football bringing the entire world together. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button, share this video with all your football-loving friends, hit subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our World Cup content. I will see you in the next one. Let's go.